We can't change their minds. We can't invite them to change our minds. We can't negotiate with them. We can't invite them for a political compromise. If your gut reaction to seeing someone take a bullet in the neck and their face explode and their young children run up to them because they were afraid of the noise, if your reaction was to grin and celebrate, you must be defeated. You must be destroyed. You must be identified, you must be isolated, and you must be eradicated from our society.
Couldn't agree more. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be covering Nick Fuentes' live stream from last night. I want to play you the first clip. I'll give you my thoughts between the clip, where he talks about this being a watershed moment for conservatives, for Americans. It was a great podcast. Let's get to the first clip.
Everybody's very emotional. Everybody is whipped up, and rightfully so. Justifiably so. People are furious. I don't know that the left fully understands that. I don't know that normies fully understand that. People are absolutely beside themselves. I've never seen the right wing more angry, more furious, and this has been building. Here we are today, the day after Charlie Kirk has been killed, but we're starting here in the middle of the story. It's been going on for over a decade. And these things compound over time and they accumulate. And I, like everybody else, recognize that this could potentially be a watershed moment. This is a ripple effect. We may look back in time and see a chain reaction, an inexorable chain reaction that leads to nothing other than destruction, devastation, bloodshed, misery. I don't think it's crazy to say millions of dead bodies. And we must have the prudence. We must have the confidence in our convictions, in our faith in God. This is the test. It's easy to believe in prayer when things are easy. It's easy to believe in God, mercy, forgiveness, temperance when things are easy. It's when things are hard, when they're confusing, when we feel justifiably angry, wrathful, prideful. That's the test. That's when it counts. And that is when mature people, and I recognize the folly in me saying that. I don't consider myself an extremely mature person. I think I'm a frivolous person in many ways. But it's an obligation for all of us to grow up now and recognize the gravity of the situation we're in, the peril that we're all in. And we have to ask ourselves, what are our intentions? We have to set them intentionally. We have to set them in alignment with God, with the gospel. We have to think not just about the present moment and what we're feeling, but about the long term, the good of our country, the good of our fellow countrymen, both the people we agree with and disagree with, our children, our progeny. And we have to think about that moment before God. We have to think about our moment before God in judgment.
Now, in the next clip, he talks about these disgusting leftists that are cheering about this, these evil hypocrites online that you've all, I'm sure, seen the videos by now. Now, as of recording this, they've caught somebody. They have somebody in custody. His father turned him in, and that's where we're at. But apparently online, there is a Discord that he was a part of where he talked about this. If this is true, I hope it won't take long for us to find out what was in that Discord, who these people in that Discord were, because they need to be investigated. The names need to be released. I hope this won't be a moment like when Trump had his assassination attempt on him, where we found out nothing about this guy. I hope the Trump administration puts pedal to the metal on this and we find out everything and they release everything to us because we have a right to know. Let's get to the next clip.
These people that are now selling t-shirts with Charlie Kirk and a bullet wound in his neck, they cannot be negotiated with. You cannot debate with them. You cannot persuade them to vote Republican. You cannot appeal to them. You will never convince them that you're a good person, that you just want the best for everybody. You will never get them to stop hating you. People like to say, Well, can the left finally admit that they have their own problem? They'll never admit that. They'll never admit that. These craven losers, that person that when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, instinctually got up and turned and celebrated, they have to be defeated. We can't change their minds. We can't invite them to change our minds. We can't negotiate with them. We can't invite them for a political compromise. If your gut reaction to seeing someone take a bullet in the neck and their face explode and their young children run up to them because they were afraid of the noise, if your reaction was to grin and celebrate, you must be defeated. You must be destroyed. You must be identified, you must be isolated, and you must be eradicated from our society. Not Democrats, not leftists, not liberals, those people that would celebrate in that moment. That is pure evil, pure malice. There is no charity in a person's heart. I don't care who it is who sees anybody get their neck exploded and celebrate like that. That's the kind of evil we're dealing with. That's the kind of evil that has taken over our society. It has become too common. People have let it fester. Like with Luigi Mangione, they thought it was cute. They thought it was glib. And look at what we have now. We are on the verge of full-on political violence and civil war. I don't think people realize what that looks like. There's going to be a lot of children without mothers and fathers, a lot of mothers and fathers grieving their dead children. I don't want that. Nobody should want that. But when it comes to evil people, cowardly, weak, evil people that snipe at Trump, at Charlie Kirk, like the gunman that came to my house last year. Unfortunately, it's not always up to us which battles we fight. When they show up to your front door, when they take shots at the rally, at the Change My Mind, we don't have a choice. We have to confront evil. We have to fight evil. We can never give in to evil, and we have to win. Recognize this. If these people ever get power over us, these people that celebrate, they sell t-shirts, they steal hats when a man is lying dead, they will hurt you. They will hurt your children, and they will destroy everything that is sacred to us, everything that we love, and they will do it with a smile. They're already doing it. They have done it. They're telling on themselves. And Sam Hyde said it very well. All their cutesy language, their word games, their sarcasm, their irony, it is dripping with malevolence, dripping with contempt, dripping with malevolence and malice. And if these people ever win, we will all suffer the same fate as Charlie Kirk. They have to be defeated utterly and fundamentally. Now, this is not a call to violence, because taking up arms against these people, what will that do? It will invite more of it.
These people that he's talking about in this clip are disgusting, evil human beings that are not fit to be in our society. These are the violent people. It's the left. They literally unalive the let's sit down and talk about it guy. Disgusting people like HASSAN PIKER, who Nick talks about in the next clip. But before that, I want to put a little clip of HASSAN PIKER here, literally inciting violence. These people like Hassan, like S.D.N.Y, even some people in the mainstream media, they are literally inciting violence. And I am not one to call for people to be deplatformed. I try to be as much of a free speech absolutist as possible. But as you'll see from some of these clips, there's a good case to be made for people like HASSAN PIKER, who is, let's face it, a fake fucking socialist, okay? The guy owns a bunch of property, drives around in a Porsche, and gets tips online from 12-year-olds. People like that, these are the people that if there's a case to be made for somebody to be deplatformed. It's them. I'm going to play you the clip, and then we're going to jump in to Nick Fuentes.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this? You cannot have a bigger fucking layup. You could not have had a bigger fucking layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker. Sure, he was prepared very well. And Herschel Walker actually had a good
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
And I think of somebody like Hassan PIKER. Such a hollow, empty, sad person. Hassan PIKER saw Charlie Kirk, someone that he knew, get shot in the neck and his neck erupt with blood. We don't need to be graphic about the details, but everybody should look at that long and hard and let it sit with you. When Hassan saw that, his first reaction was to make a glib remark about gun control. Seriously? That's a 31-year-old man. That's a young man with a wife and kids. He got shot in cold blood, publicly executed in front of thousands of college students. Never forget the trauma of his children, of his family. What about the people that witnessed this? What about everybody that will be affected by the knock-on violence that results from this? And you hollow, sick person, your response is to make some glib remark about gun control? Fuck you. Fuck you. And here's my message to Hassan PIKER and every liberal cocksucker like him. You better disavow this violence. You better cry like Dean Withers. And I don't say that, maybe that comes off like I'm humiliating him. Who knows whether that was sincere or not? I hope to God that it was. And if it was, you know what? Good on him. That's a good kid. And he said some nasty things about me. That's a kid with a conscience. He said, I don't think we should kill people for disagreeing. Is that divisive now? He had to apologize for weeping that someone he knew was murdered. That kid has a conscience. I have some faith in that generation. Here's my message to Hassan and all these smug, glib liberals like that. If you cannot, if you will not disavow this violence, we will have no choice but to consider you as no different than the killers. That's complicity. You could be forgiven up until this point for being irresponsible. We all get heated. We all do it. I'm guilty of it too. It makes hypocrites of all of us. We murder each other with our words all the time, with our gossip, our slander. We overreact. We say things we don't mean. We get angry. We harbor grudges and resentment, things that we should not. And that's not to excuse it. But the day that someone gets shot for the disagreement, if you can't bring yourself to show the slightest ounce of humanity to a moderate Republican who got killed for no reason, this is a moment we all recognize could set us down the path towards a civil war, could set us down the path towards unbelievable horror, suffering, bloodshed. If you can't bring yourself, even for the selfish sake of yourself or your own people or your own pathetic side, to show the slightest ounce of humility, of mercy, of magnanimity, benevolence, charity, then you are no better than the killer. And that means that you must be destroyed politically as well. That's not a call to violence. But people like that have to be suppressed.
Could not agree more. Now, in the next clip, Nick talks about his call to action to men, to young guys out there, to even the boomers out there. Let's go.
Trade your sword for a cloak. Be as clever as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. This is my message. Every young adolescent man watching this, everybody whipped up, boomers too, boomer waffin that's out there. Every person that is outraged by this, every person that wants change, I give you the same message. Trade your arms for a cloak. Be as clever as a serpent, as innocent as a dove. Write your interior life. Write your conscience. Put your conscience and your attentions in alignment with God. Be as innocent as you can be. Try your best to live a moral life. But don't be stupid. Don't be naive. With Charlie Kirk's death, his Turning Point organization, the fate of it is uncertain. Charlie Kirk, I'm going to be honest with you, I saw him as an establishment figure. I saw him as too moderate. We must fill up the ranks of these campus organizations with Septemberists. Forget about the free market. Forget about pro-Israel, free market, whatever. It is incumbent on all adolescent young men that want to save this country, that want any future for your children, that want to preserve what your ancestors built, to get involved in politics and to do more. And when I say politics, do not mistake what I mean. I don't mean go and vote for more Republicans to bomb Palestine. I do not mean to vote for more Republicans to cover up the Epstein files. Vote for more Republicans to squander and botch something like this so badly as they have. I mean, you need to become a human Swiss Army knife. Become unkillable. I'm not this guy, but get in the gym. Get in the gym. Do tactical training. Become hard to kill so you can protect yourself and your family. Learn the rules of the game and use them to your advantage. Get involved in politics. Get involved in a campus organization tomorrow. Get involved in a campaign, not with the mind towards I'm going to put up stickers, not with a mind towards we're going to get the vote, with a mind towards we are in this struggle until we die. By any means. We are in this struggle for the long haul. Until we win, none of us are safe. None of our families are safe. We will keep being attacked. Get used to it. You'll see more of it. I hope we don't. I pray that we don't, but we will. Get involved for the people that can't. For the people that aren't with us. For the people that aren't able. Start your career now so that one day you can be in a position of real power, real money, real influence, real government power. And not today, not tomorrow, because listen, that's not how these things happen. Rome is not built in a day. This kind of societal change, people that are looking for a quick fix, what are we going to do? You're not going to like the answer, because it is not that we are going to go out in some climactic, ecstatic, orgiastic, violent action like a movie. That never delivers change. It never delivers anything good. What does deliver real change is the thankless, monotonous, boring task, the oftentimes not very rewarding task of going in, day out, and dealing with logistical problems and frustrations and fighting every day so that we can be in charge, so that we can protect our country, our inheritance, and all people. That's the solution. That's my call on all people. In the short term, this scourge in our society, it must be driven out. It must be suffocated by goodness. They must be shamed, not hurt, not injured, not maimed, but they must be shamed. They must be ostracized. We cannot associate with these people anymore. And a more voluntary action is you need to get involved. This is the call to action that you're not going to like. Sadly, and I've been around for a long time and I've seen it, and you may not believe me. I've seen enough of these instances. You know how this goes. Everybody's paying attention now because they saw the gory video. Everyone's in their feelings because they saw video edits and productions with music on them on TikTok. But in 2 weeks, everybody's going to be right back to their regular old lives. You know that.
The next clip I'm going to play for you is a eulogy that Nick did for Charlie Kirk, and it was a great moment of the live stream. He didn't have to do it, and it was terrific to see, because us on the right, we are righteous people. But I want to touch on something first that he said in the last clip, and I'll make this as quick as possible, about being in shape and getting involved in politics, and I would say growing your wealth, making as much money as you can. This is something that I preach as well that is very important to me. I don't talk about myself much on this channel, nor do I want to. It's not about me. That's why the channel is not my name. I want it to be about the message and bringing common sense back to the world and making America great again. But I spent 14 years of my life in combat sports. I've never been in an actual fist fight more than once in my life. That wasn't a competitive or a tournament of some sort, but I spent a lot of time boxing and wrestling in my life. I started businesses, and I was blessed. 2 of the businesses that I started really popped off. By the time I was 35 years old, I had enough money to retire. I could take care of my family, my kids, all that stuff. They would never have to work another day in their life. There's some luck involved there, and I'm very blessed. I get that. That's what I want for all of you. Now, they don't teach this stuff in high school like they should. By the time you get out of high school, you should know how to invest money. You should know how to hire a lawyer. You should know how to buy a home. You should know how to invest your money a little bit overseas and bank overseas and have intelligent protective structures in place to protect yourself and protect your wealth in case you get sued or you get a divorce if you're mad, that you're not losing all your shit. This is important. How to lower your taxable income as much as possible. Not tax evasion, lowering your taxable income. This is stuff that you should look into, that you should learn. Learn how to defend yourself. Not saying you got to compete, just know the basics. If you spend a year training boxing, you'll know more than 95% of the people out there anyway. Most people have no idea how to defend themselves or throw an actual punch. It's something that you should know so that you can protect not only yourself, but your family. And like he said, I'm going to stop babbling here, but the things you do every day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. Like if you're a really big fat person, I don't mean that disparagingly, and you want to lose weight. Well, the habits that you form that you're going to do every day, these eating habits, these exercise habits, those are the ones that are going to matter the most. Anyways, enough about that. That's the last you'll see of me. I'm going to sign off. We'll get the next clip. Godspeed to all of you, and stay safe out there.
We disagreed on much, but we agreed about abortion. We agreed about feminism. We agreed about many of the other moral, social ills of the country. And when you look at his most vicious detractors, the people celebrating his death now, probably the gunmen that killed him, they hated him because of his defense of Christian morality. He wasn't killed necessarily, perhaps, by a socialist or by someone who disagreed about his position on fiscal policy. And this is something I think we all need to take into account, something we need to be aware of and notice. The most vicious, hateful opponents of the conservative movement of all stripes, they are the ones championing transgenderism, which goes by another name, mutilation of the body, a disordering of the soul. It's the proponents of abortion, which is some form of child sacrifice, at the minimum, infanticide. These are the most vicious, violent, hateful detractors of even a moderate conservative like Charlie Kirk because he stood up for those biblical values. I'll say it better, Christian values, Christian morality, for Christ himself, for the truth incarnate. And for that, I consider him a true martyr. And I hope his reward is in heaven. And the least that you could say about Charlie Kirk is that he died professing a faith in God. He died professing the truth. Let us be so lucky, in a way. I don't count him as lucky. It's a horrible tragedy. Years taken, memories, but ultimately martyred for the sake of the truth, for the sake of mercy, for the sake of the unborn, for the sake of children affected by all these diabolical, perverse things. He will receive a handsome reward in heaven for it. May he rest in peace. God bless Charlie Kirk, his family, his daughters, everybody, his enemies, his friends, everybody in the country. Let us truly see each other as children of God. Let us all see God in everybody. Let's be charitable towards one another in our words and our actions. Let's be slow to anger. And I know it's rich for me to say that. I'm a very volatile person. Let us be slow to be angry, wrathful, vengeful, judgmental. Let's try to be kind, compassionate, understanding. But at the same time, let us be strong, tough, clever when we need to be. Let us defend the people we love from those that are trying to hurt us. And God, give us the strength, the prudence, the perseverance to defeat this evil with some finality in our lifetimes. And it may be a long time, but let us see it through to the end for the sake of everybody. Remember that you will die. Like Charlie Kirk, you and I will die. Charlie Kirk had plans. We all have plans. We all have plans to live to be 95 years old, retired with our family on our side, dying of old age peacefully in our sleep. That's not promised. None of it. None of it is promised. Not our bodies, not our faculties, not our cognitive capabilities, not 50 years, not tomorrow, not today, not tonight. Do with that information what you will. Live as though if you died at any moment, you'll be satisfied with it. And what do we take with us in death? We don't take any of it. Not our bodies, not our wealth, as you know, our esteem, our credibility, our victories. All of it eventually be washed away by time and by eternity. What you take with you to the judgment are your deeds. What is melted down at the end of your life is your actions. And they will be melted down like metals. And they will be gold, silver, bronze, copper. They will be judged accordingly to their weight, to their kind, to their type. What did you do? Did you do the right thing? Did you tell the truth? Did you sacrifice as Christ did? Did you do these things as Christ did? In the end, that is all that you take with you, and it is worth its weight in gold, literally. People get so caught up, they're so worried about strategy, machinations, even the fate of our people here in this world. But the world is passing. We are passing. We are mortal. And all these people that see Charlie Kirk, and I get it, people are beating their chest. They don't want to be deterred. They don't want to be defeated. Let it be a reminder. We all die. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We're all going that way.